Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And Daniel is me.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today, on the Game and Gig podcast, we are talking about a few categories from the Game Awards that we thought were actually interesting.
I think we should start with the big one, Game of the Year. And we're going to talk about the nominees.
Well, you asked for it, buddy.
Gotta start with the big one. You gotta do it.
Okay.
So, the nominees for Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year are, I think they're interesting. I mean, I kind of predicted most of them, but there are a couple here that I didn't really expect to see.
There's one here that I don't think we talked about when we were trying to figure out what might go up for the award.
So first we got A Plague Tale Requiem, which is the one that I now in hindsight, sure, there wasn't that many huge games this year, and I know that this was a pretty anticipated sequel, so we got that.
Followed by Elden Ring, which was super hyped for many years.
I mean, yeah, we knew for sure.
And it actually delivered.
Yeah.
I mean, people love that game.
Yeah, people love it. We got God of War Ragnarok, which is a brand new game, but, this
Clearly was going to be here.
Yeah, as long as it made it out before the awards. Yeah.
Then we got Horizon Forbidden West. We're alternating, Randy.
Oh, we're alternating. Sorry.
Jeez,
Horizon
Louise.
Forbidden West. And then we got Stray, which is an indie game.
That's the one that I didn't think would be here. That's one I didn't think about.
Well, they always include an indie game.
Yeah, but I just didn't think about it being Stray. I don't know. I didn't think about really any indie game being super, super huge this year. I mean, I loved Cult of the Lamb, and I know Stray had some hype, so
Yeah, well,
it's a cat game.
it's a cat game. And then we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is one that I definitely did predict would be there because this one was super highly rated. I don't think a lot of people played it, but it was highly rated, and it was, it was probably Nintendo's most highly rated game they put out this year. So.
Did you play it, Randy?
No.
Nah, me neither.
I haven't played any of the others, so I don't want to jump in at 3. So those are the nominees. Now, you may have an immediate gut reaction on which one you think will win, but I think it's a little bit more complex than that.
Well, I don't really appreciate you talking about my gut, but yeah.
So, put out a poll and asked, just kind of put our feelers out there. By the way, this was our most interacted with poll of all time. I know I say that often on here, but
That's because it's been happening.
it's just been growing. Things have been growing. So, thank you for voting in our polls if you voted in this poll. And the poll was, which game will win Game of the Year?
So coming out strong with a majority, 48% was Elden Ring.
That's not a majority, but it's close to it.
You're right. It's not a majority. It's the highest voted.
Yeah.
It's not a majority. You're right. Definitions are hard. Then at 36%, we got Ragnarok. 3% we got Horizon Forbidden West. And then 12% was one of the other 3 games. We lumped those into one category because, let's be honest here, it's between those 3.
Right. I mean, I honestly don't even think that Forbidden West has a chance.
I don't either.
I think that, it was I guess the most popular out, or the third most popular out of the thing. So I figured it probably had at least a closer chance than the others. But still, you never know, though. I mean, we could have an upset.
We had one last year.
Last year we had, I loved It Takes Two. I voted for it. I thought it was the best game of 2021. I didn't expect it to win.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
But it did. So,
I agree. It's between Elden Ring and Ragnarok.
And that's what
I
our
see
poll
that.
shows here.
Oh, yeah. 3% for Forbidden West. Pretty strong showing there.
Yeah, I actually expected that one to be more than 3% because if you add together the other games, it's 12%, which means collectively we could assume they all got about 4% each. So maybe
That's
I should have
true.
put one of the other games.
Should have put the cat game.
I should have put Stray up there. But okay, so we see that it's pretty much, between Elden Ring and Ragnarok in terms of poll voters. But let's see what the comments said about this.
Oh, man. And we got some corporate interaction today because our first comment comes from Tombstone Pizza. So Tombstone Pizza 22.99 said, Elden Ring feels like it actually changed something with open world games by providing that they can have really difficult combat and a huge world to explore with endless new discoveries. The other games are pretty great, and they may be more solid overall, but they're mostly just sequels that stick to what worked in their predecessors.
So there is some truth in that Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Plague Tale, Horizon, and Ragnarok are all sequels.
Yes.
So the only new ones are new IPs with Stray and Elden Ring. So there is some, in terms of the big two there, Ragnarok and Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Elden Ring wasn't a sequel, but it kind of is sequel-y in a way.
I mean, to say that Elden Ring is completely new and unique and fresh which maybe is not what Tombstone Pizza is trying to say. But I don't think that's fair to say.
Well, I mean, at least it is a, at least it did add some.
Soulsborne.
It's a Souls, game, but it is open world, which is new.
Yes.
So it does have some new stuff. At least it did change some things. So I see what old Tombstone Pizza's saying here.
It changed some things for the Soulsborne subgenre.
Right.
But it didn't. It still just took a tried and true formula and put it in a big open world, which neither one is new, but I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not trying to.
There is some
it.
truth to that, and the fact that the others, for the majority except Stray, were all sequels. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, definitely. And even though they are sequels to established games, it makes sense. All right, so then we have Angel Sierra 436, who said Elden Ring, but sadly another Red Dead situation will happen. So I think this is referring to back in 2018 when Red Dead Redemption 2 was up for Game of the Year against God of War, the previous God of War game, and God of War 1.
Right.
So I think that they're saying Elden Ring should win, but God of War will win.
So are they saying that...
they want Elden Ring to win, but God of War will win.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Red Dead and God of War are both great, so I don't know that you could call that like the Red Dead situation. Like that's tough competition.
No, I think it's very similar because I think like Elden Ring and Ragnarok are going to be really, and I think that Angel Sierra here wanted Red Dead to win, but God of War won back in 2018. So
I got you.
Yeah, I think that absolutely could happen. I want to save my thoughts because I have some little bit more nuance than that, but I could totally see it happening here.
Hang on to your seats, folks. Randy's getting nuanced.
Yeah.
So our next comment comes from, and I've been looking at this name for a few seconds here, Angelo Tali, 8818.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Said that Sonic Frontiers has already outperformed Elden Ring, so it's not going to be that one. Exasperated, smiling kind of emoji thing.
So this comment confuses me a little bit. I think this has to do, because Sonic Frontiers certainly hasn't sold more than Elden Ring in terms of outperforming. I don't think, or at least I really don't think. I think what this is referring to is the fact that Sonic Frontiers has a higher user rating on Metacritic than Elden Ring does.
Okay, maybe it is, because I couldn't figure that either.
Because I know that I saw a thing that like Sonic Frontiers has like an 8 point something for the user ranking on Metacritic, whereas Elden Ring has like a 6 point something. Because you got to keep in mind, although Elden Ring has tons and tons of fans, people who love it, it also has a lot of people who very much dislike the game.
Yeah, well, it's just got a lot of people who don't hang with Soulsborns.
Right, and I include myself amongst those. I didn't review it, but if I had reviewed it, my score for Elden Ring, I mean, it just isn't my thing. It wouldn't have been a high score, but it's not because it's not a high quality game. It just wouldn't have sat well with me. That's why I didn't review it, because I don't have anything that's really constructive to say beyond like it just didn't click with me.
I think Elden Ring is objectively really good. I just don't think it's for everybody.
Right. I think it's a very, very divisive game. So, yeah. Next, we got Larry House. Larry, thank you for commenting again. It's been a little while since we've heard from you. He said, it's coming down to personal preference of the person or group selecting the game to win. Elden Ring and Ragnarok are both hard hitters in Game of the Decade race. Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, we're early on in the decade, though. But I see so far, they're great games this decade. We've only got a couple years. However, my vote is for Ragnarok. In the simplest way I can put it, Elden Ring is a basic pattern-based game. You learn the patterns, you can beat the whole game in 2 hours. I mean, okay, maybe some speedrunning.
Yeah.
Dodge, roll, and attack. That's the meat of the game. There's some truth to that. The bushes don't even move when you walk through them. Your character is silent. There's just nothing there with any depth. Elden Ring is a masterclass game for its mechanics, exploration, and rewards. Okay. I feel God of War is so much more than just a game. From voice acting, motion capture, story, environments, combat, Norse history, and emotional depth and attachment, Elden Ring is a 10 out of 10 game, but Ragnarok is so much more. So that's
a lot.
That's a lot there. So obviously you really like Elden Ring, but feel that God of War goes beyond what is just a really great game.
And I do agree. God of War's got such a great story. You know, it really sucks me in. Elden Ring didn't suck me in with the story. I'll say that.
Yeah. And I do agree that things like the bushes not moving and like the character animation stuff, I feel like that kind of stuff was really lacking in the few hours I played of Elden Ring.
I never noticed any bushes not moving or moving. I never thought about them.
I mean, I didn't really think about the bushes, but I'm saying as this is an example. Like, we've talked about this before. We made a whole podcast about why the movement in Elden Ring just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I definitely get that, like, Ragnarok does, like, all the things. It's not just trying to, like, it's not just about the mechanics and having great mechanics. It does have those. But maybe Elden Ring has better than that. But Ragnarok goes beyond. It does like all the stuff.
It does. And tells some sick mythology in the process.
Right. So I want to say, like I said, I want to save my thoughts, but I feel you on that, Larry, a little bit.
I'm looking forward to your nuance.
Yeah.
So Riders _13_78 said, it's a tie for me between 3 games: Horizon Forbidden West, Ragnarok, he put that in all caps, and Elden Ring. They were so incredible in their own way. Too many great games this year. It's hard to pick one. But if it had to be one, it's probably going to be Elden Ring. It's just so unique and vast, and the amount of secrets and underground areas to explore was a lot of fun. A lot, one word.
I don't know that was on purpose.
It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the thing that probably gives Elden Ring, its own edge for sure, is the fact that there's just so much to do.
There's a lot.
And Ragnarok has a lot to do in it, and Horizon Forbidden West probably has a lot to do in it as well. But it just seems like Elden Ring, for a lot of people, encouraged that, like, exploring and doing a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, even in like the 10, 15 hours I put into Elden Ring, I went to like this area that you're not supposed to go to when you're low leveled, and I did it to like get this particular staff that the internet told me I should get early game because it would be good. And the game let me do that. It let me go wherever I wanted to go, even though everything was trying to kill me the whole time. And it did a few times.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's like it's one of those games. It's kind of like you hear it compared to Breath of the Wild a lot, where it's like no matter where you go, there's going to be something to do and something to find, and like. And I think that although both Horizon Forbidden West and Ragnarok have some of those elements as well, it just seems like Elden Ring went the extra mile with that.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I get it.
All right.
And then finally, the last comment we have on this today is going to be from Rybread's Corner.
That's another corporate entity.
Said, okay, one, Horizon is an obvious one. Okay, I think the verbiage here is a little off, but Horizon is an obvious one and should be talked about alongside Elden Ring and God of War. Horizon is as good, if not better, than those games. And I wanted to bring this up because I didn't see a whole lot of love for Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, we've had like some people say, it was like a tie, like we had earlier. But yeah, I mean, I do think that for a lot of people, Horizon Forbidden West will be their game of the year. I think that it really was a great game for a lot of people.
And people loved, Forbidden Dawn, or Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn, yeah.
And, they were hyped for the sequel, and I totally get that.
I will say that I think that what Horizon Forbidden West did for me this year that has like impressed me the most is I think that it is the most beautiful game that has come out this year. I think although Ragnarok looks great, I do think that out of our choices, Horizon Forbidden West has the best environments, and it just has like some really fantastic worlds,
Well, you've always had the hots for Aloy.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah. No, so now that we've seen the comments here, what is your prediction, Daniel? Which game do you think will win Game of the Year?
Well, as much as I'd love to vote for the underdog of the cute little kitty, it's got to be Ragnarok. It's got to be Ragnarok.
You think it?
Got to be. If it's not Ragnarok, I'm sure it will be Elden Ring, but it's got to be Ragnarok. That game, that one comment, I don't remember who it was, if it was Larry or who, but Ragnarok does everything. It tells a great story. It's got some of the best combat ever. It's beautiful. It's got great voice acting. It's got to be Ragnarok. What do you think?
So I will say I want it to be Ragnarok. Ragnarok, like...
Well, this is what we're talking about. What do you want it to be?
No, this is which game do we think it will be?
Well, I still think it'll be Ragnarok. So
okay, I want it to be Ragnarok. I really do. But I think that there is a high chance that it will be Elden Ring, but here's where the nuance comes in. Okay, my purely analytical brain, if I let that side take over, says it's going to be Ragnarok because it got the most nominations, and it's the game that I think should win. So like combining those two things together makes you think, okay, it's going to be Ragnarok. But Elden Ring has been around for so much longer this year.
Yes.
It's, kind of made its impression on the gaming psyche. I think, it's had more time to get its foothold,
Oh, yeah. And it won most anticipated game like 2 years in a row, I think. So,
well, it did win last year. I don't remember the year before. It may have.
I think it did.
Yeah. So, that being said, okay, Elden Ring did really well with critics, but it has not done so well with just like the general audience scores. We talked about a minute ago about how Elden Ring has like a 6 point something user review score because it's very, very divisive. You have people who love it or you literally hate it.
Yeah.
And there's almost no in between on it. So because of that, it makes you think, well, maybe Ragnarok has that much bit more of a chance because I think if you were to take users in general, I think Ragnarok's going to have a better user score. But then the last bit that makes me think that maybe it's going to be Elden Ring after all is the fact that the votes for this are really come from like people who are more like the reviewer type and like the like you were saying before the podcast started, it's really like a group of like selected people who get to choose.
Yes.
And I think they're going to go with Elden Ring.
I think they could. I really think they could. I mean, I agree. I just don't think they should. But, that's completely my opinion. I mean, it could go either way, but...
Is there any world in which Horizon Forbidden West wins?
No.
Okay. Is there any world in which a Plague Tale Requiem wins?
No.
What about Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
No.
Okay, what about Stray?
No.
No. I think that out of the other ones, last year we had It Takes Two, which was sort of an indie game.
Indie adjacent.
Yeah, it really wasn't, but it was
technically it's EA.
It was a budget, yeah, but it was published by EA.
Yeah.
It was what, Hazelight?
Yeah, they fell under the umbrella.
So I could see it, who knows? I don't think Stray was good enough, though. It Takes Two, the thing about It Takes Two is it was sort of an indie-adjacent game, but it was also a phenomenal game, whereas Stray is good, but it's not great.
Right. Well, I think what we're getting down to is that, there's going to be a lot of subjectivity involved here, and, we'll see what happens. But, Randy, I'll tell you what's not subjective, and that's our new sponsor, Ghost Rider for PS2. Have you ever ghosted your friends and just wished you could go a little further? Well, now you can, as you live out your greatest Nicolas Cage fantasy in Ghost Rider for PS2. Not a sponsor.
We got a new sponsor, guys. Kane is gone. Ghost Rider's in. Get used to it. So, next category that we, kind of briefly talk about these, a couple more categories here.
Yeah.
But
we just pulled some that we thought were interesting.
Yeah. We got most anticipated game. So hit us with all of the people for most anticipated game.
So most anticipated game comes down to Final Fantasy XVI, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, the remake, Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. So, it actually has a name now instead of last year just being sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Right. And
and this is a pretty strong category, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I feel like the winner should not be either Starfield or Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, even though I think it will be one of those two. In fact, I think it's going to be the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's going to be the winner.
Do you think it shouldn't be because they've already been teased for so long?
Yes. I think that because they got delayed. Both of them got delayed out of the year. I don't think they deserve to win this. But
couldn't you make the argument that delaying it might increase the anticipation, increase the tension?
Hogwarts Legacy also got delayed out of this year. The only ones that haven't are Final Fantasy and Resident Evil 4.
Well, I mean, Resident Evil 4, I'm interested in that because Resident Evil 4, the OG version is heralded as one of the best games of all time. So I am very interested in that. And the Resident Evil 3 remake that I played with you was great.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a really good game.
I don't really care so much about Final Fantasy 16.
I don't either.
I care way more about them continuing the Final Fantasy 7 remake trilogy.
Me too. But I might give Final Fantasy 16 a go. Maybe. Yeah. That's I'm very much on the fence about that. Other than that, I plan to play all of these games. Mm-hmm. And let's say, which game did you vote for?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. That's what I voted for too.
That's the one I want the most.
I for some reason don't think it's going to win.
It might not.
You know what game I think is going to win this?
Starfield.
Nope. I think it's going to be Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know why. I just have this weird feeling that Hogwarts Legacy is going to win.
Honestly, Hogwarts Legacy looks really good.
I know.
Everything I see from it, I'm like, I might have to play that game.
And I think there are so many people who are hyped about a legit Harry Potter game because we've gotten movie tie-in games, but they're not any good.
I mean, I loved Harry Potter. Like I read them all. I was a huge fan, when they were coming out when we were growing up.
Yeah.
But I'm not like a mega fan still to this day, like maybe you or Catherine.
Right.
But every time I see this game, I'm like, I may have to pick that up.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Oh,
the combat looks fun.
Everything looks good about it. And that's the thing. I think that people are going to be... I think that this one's going to win.
What house are you going to pick?
I don't know yet. I really don't. That is such a hard decision.
Have you ever taken one of those Pottermore quizzes?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you get?
Ravenclaw, man.
I got Gryffindor.
Really? Mm-hmm. You would.
I know. That's what everybody says.
You're such a Gryffindor.
Everybody says that, but I think that's just a thing you say. But I might be Slytherin so I can be edgy.
You would want you're the type of person that you're a Gryffindor, but you want to be a Slytherin.
Yeah. Definitely, because I like the bad guys.
Yeah, you do.
That's why Darth Vader's my boy. I like the bad guys.
You want to be a Slytherin, but people who want to be a Slytherin, they don't get to be Slytherins.
Right.
It's the people who can't help it, but they just are Slytherins.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not me. Like in the end, I would do the right thing.
Yeah.
But I might be edgy about it.
Okay. So, which game do you think will win most anticipated? Which one do you think? Not which. I know you want it to be Tears of the Kingdom, but what do you want? What do you think it'll be? He's thinking hard about this. I can tell.
I mean, I still kind of think it might be Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think it'll be Starfield, even though I'm excited to see what Bethesda does. I'm excited to see what kind of bugs Bethesda launches a game with next.
I know.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I just think Bethesda has burned everyone too many times for that game to win.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fallout 76, please. I still kind of think it'll be Tears of the Kingdom because I thought it would be sequel to Breath of the Wild last year, and Elden Ring took it. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know that Hogwarts has the Elden Ring amount of push to push Nintendo aside. But
yeah, I could see it. I think that if it's not Hogwarts, I just have my gut feeling is like weird that I think that the underdog of Hogwarts Legacy is gonna win. Mm-hmm. But if it ends up being Tears of the Kingdom, I won't be surprised in the least. I will be surprised if it's Final Fantasy or Resident Evil 4.
Me too.
Or Starfield.
Me too.
I think that any of those will be a little surprising to me. But I'll be happy to be surprised.
All right, hit us with some best family game nominees.
Randy. Next, we're going to have best family. So I think this one's interesting because last year we had a very similar situation happen where all of the nominees were Switch games except one, which was It Takes Two.
Yeah.
And It Takes Two won. Of course it won because it won Game of the Year. Of course it's going to win Best Family. Mm-hmm. But we have the same exact thing here where all the games are Switch exclusives except one, which is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. And
it's still on Switch. It's just not Switch exclusive.
Yeah, but the other games were Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. And I have played every game on this list except Lego Star Wars. I do plan to play it. Catherine and I want to play it. And I have to say that I think the same thing's going to happen this year. Even though I haven't played Lego Star Wars, I know people love that game. It looks super, super high quality. I think it's going to win.
Well, I'll tell you, I also think Lego Star Wars will win, and I even voted for it, even though I haven't played it. And I'll tell you why. I want to play it. I just haven't made time.
Same.
And if I thought about my own family, and, we don't really sit around the old TV and play games like we never did.
Like we never did.
But if we did, if I brought one of these games over, the only game I could see my dad even standing in the living room long enough to see is Lego Star Wars because he's a Star Wars fan. And Star Wars is so big. Like, most people to some degree like Star Wars. And Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga brings it all together and like mixes it up, and you can see like these character interactions that never would have happened. And I think that would lead to more families thinking, hey, this is at least kind of neat. They may not give a crap about Kirby. They may not, they may know about Mario, but they ain't gonna know what's going on in Sparks of Hope. Why does Mario have a gun? You tell me. Switch Sports kind of flopped.
It didn't kind of flop, it flopped.
And Splatoon 3, although I think Splatoon 3 looks really cool and I'm still kind of interested in it. We're going to have an esports team next semester and I'm pumped to see it.
That was a good game.
That
was a good game.
That's more like competitive geared, and I don't know that makes a great family game.
Yeah,
that's my argument.
Yeah, I agree. I think for those same reasons, I do think Lego Star Wars will win this one. That being said, I personally voted for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I loved that game so much. I know you also loved that game.
loved that game.
Yeah, I do think that one is, I don't know, because I haven't played Lego Star Wars. But out of the other ones, the games I've played, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is the best out of them.
Well, Kirby and the Forgotten Land's great, and it's got the co-op. You could play it with a little brother or, little sister.
It's a really good co-op mode, too.
So, I mean, it's got a lot going for it, and if it wins, I won't be mad.
No, I want it to win. I really don't think any of the others will. I mean, besides Lego Star Wars, which I think will win. But I want Kirby and the Forgotten Land to win. That's what I want. So another one we didn't have on here was indie game, best indie game. I know you had some thoughts on the best indie game, but I didn't add it in the outline because I didn't play. The only indie games out of the best indie games that I played Stray, and I've already made it clear that I think that game was good, but not great. I would say it was probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. It was good.
Yeah. Well, I haven't played all of them either. I only played a couple, but I love indie games. And, I played Cult. So the nominees are Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. And out of those, I've played Cult of the Lamb and Sifu, and I both thought they were great.
Wait, you played Sifu, Cult of the Lamb, and oh no, you didn't play Stray. Okay.
I haven't played Stray. I just thought about it a lot.
Okay.
And I voted for Cult of the Lamb, and maybe I'm a little biased because I played it, but all the reviews I saw of that game were super positive. I thought it was really unique, and it blended a lot of things together with a hilarious like demonic skin, and I think it deserves a little bit of recognition. There's even a DLC for it that I don't have, but that's kind of cool. But my plan is to go back and at least play Neon White, or at least try it, just because I like indie games. Tunic, it looks cool. It's another like kind of cutesy looking Zelda clone-esque looking game. Similar to like a Death's Door or something like that. And I just don't really think I'm going to play it, but
yeah,
I'm sure it's good.
I'm sure it is too. So you say you were interested in Neon White, but what about Stray? You think you're going to play Stray?
I am still interested in Stray. I just don't know when I'll play it.
You can borrow it from me if you ever need to.
You got a physical copy?
No, I don't. Never mind. I rented that one.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
Next is Games of the Week, which I've almost completely skipped. This week is not. I've played a lot of video games this week, but this is like the first time in weeks that I did not finish a game this week because I'm still working on some pretty long games. That being God of War Ragnarok. I'm still working on Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I'm very, very close to end of that one. And Catherine and I are still playing through Rayman. I wrote Legends. It's not Legends. Rayman Origins.
Origins, yeah.
Which is a very long game. It's a platform with tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of levels. So who knows? It may be another week before I even finish any of these games. So,
I don't want that for you, but if it is, I hope you survive.
What games have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been playing Ragnarok, but not as much as I'd like this week. But I'm about to hit it super, super freaking hard today, and I'm excited. I also play a lot of Rocket League Sideswipe. That's probably why I haven't been playing as much Ragnarok, because it's so easy to just pick up my phone and play Sideswipe.
Yeah.
And that game totally slaps.
It's very good.
That is got to be the best mobile game I've ever played.
I've played that some this week as well.
Yeah, that is a great game. And then I finally started this Mega Man X inspired indie game that I've had on Steam for a while called 30XX. It's like a roguelike Mega Man X inspired game thing. And I have it on Steam, but I've been playing it only through Steam Link on my phone using the Backbone controller. And it works super, super well for that. And if you play it on your own network, there's really no lag.
Right.
So that's been really fun. That's a really good game. And it's still in early access. It's been in early access forever. So, I don't know. But it's
30XX.
Very cool. Yeah. There was a 20XX before that, but this is like the next one.
Next one. All right. Yeah. I've seen something about this game. In fact, I saw something about it not too long ago. Someone talking about it online, and it looked interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Mega Man X, which I always loved when I was a kid, it's just like that. It's just an updated Mega Man X.
If I have the idea, this like started as a fan project that was a Mega Man thing, and then they eventually made it their own thing, or how does it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it started that way or if it was always like an original IP.
Okay.
I really don't know, but it's really well done.
If it's the thing I was thinking of, I thought I saw them say it was like started as like a fan built Mega Man X game, and then they eventually just like, okay, let's put our own IP spin on it.
You might be right.
It. But I could be wrong about that.
And it works super well, on a phone using some sort of controller. It's really well made for that, I guess I could say.
Yeah. So, as I was saying before, Games of the Week, at the end of the episode, we like to shout out the people who make it to the end of our episodes, give you some credit here. And
where it's due.
We do that by our 3 for Dale Club. So if you make it to the end of the episode, let us know by putting a comment, 3 for Dale, or just include it in your comments somewhere if you want to talk about other stuff. And what we do is we shout out the people who do that at the end of the episodes.
That's right. And last week, it was our good buddy Tyler. So Tyler, thanks for hanging in there all the way to the end, and 3 for Dale, bruh.
Right. So if you want to be shout out next week, just put 3 for Dale into the comments, and we'll shout you out at the end of the next podcast.
Straight up.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, until next time, I'm Randy.
And I'm still Daniel.
And this has been Gaming Gig.
Peace out.